been a fun start of the tournament already. Virginia upset by Furman, last second shot after a Virginia turnover. At the time of recording this, we've already seen that upset. Who knows what else happens? But March Madness, to me, truly might be the greatest playoffs, if you want to call it playoffs. It's a tournament, so not quite playoffs, but the best postseason play in any sport. Now, I love sports. I love football. I love soccer. I love the World Cup. I love the Super Bowl. I love the NBA Finals. The NBA playoffs is electric. And bro, hockey playoffs are massively, massively underrated. I don't like that ESPN is covering hockey. I wish it was still with NBC or even Fox because I prefer their coverages, but they have done great in terms of exposure of the sport. Now they just need to do a better job of actually covering the sport, but they've done a great job with exposure, and more fans are coming into the sport of hockey. It is one of, if not the highest growing sport in the country right now. So NHL, I love their playoffs. The college football playoffs, always fun, but truly you don't get to see many things like the college basketball playoffs, the college basketball tournament. College baseball playoffs is also electric. I love I love when those teams have some personality to them. When you see baseball teams with personality, where especially college kids. Now that is really fun, even though I don't watch it as much as I should. But you don't see around sports what you get to witness with college basketball. You don't get to see a university that if this tournament hadn't going on, nobody would ever heard of them before. I couldn't tell you where Furman is if you told me to point on a map with a gun to my mother's head. She's dead. I have no idea what state. I have no idea what city. If you actually told me they're in Canada, for a second, I might believe you because I have no clue where Furman is, and nor really should I. There's no reason to. But now they're on the main stage. Their fans get to experience something that they never imagined before, beating Virginia to move on to the next round. Virginia, a team that are just a few years removed from a championship winning team. I don't believe anybody's left from their team, but there might be. Their coach is still there. And now Virginia are the one team that has choked a 1-16 matchup. So keep it going, Virginia, choking the first round yet again. But you don't get to see that anywhere else. You don't get to really see in the World Cup occasionally, like this time in the World Cup, seeing Morocco progress all the way to the semifinal was phenomenal. I'm obviously not Moroccan, but I can relate an underdog story. United States aren't really an underdog. Obviously, one not soccer wise or sporting wise, but America is one of the just top countries in the world. Take that as you will. You know what I mean. Places like Morocco don't get recognition on the world stage. Colleges like Furman don't get recognition on the collegiate stage. Do you know where Furman is? Does anybody know where Furman is? Does Furman know where they are? Are they actually a real school, or do they just get some college basketball players and say, let's go play in the tournament? That could happen. Obviously, it's not. But I don't know who they are. I couldn't name you one player on their team. I couldn't tell you what they do good. I couldn't tell you how old their coach is. All I know is they stole a pass at the half-court line, passed it to the right wing, hit a three-point shot about 3 or 4 feet beyond the three-point arc. Virginia missed like a 10 feet outside the three-point line shot, and now they're on to the second round. And now everybody knows who Furman is. Everybody recognizes that the purple, the F. Everybody knows who they are. Furman is going to get probably some more people commit to them as a school. Maybe not even necessarily athletics, but they're probably going to see a small spike next year in enrollment just based off people finding out who they are. They can now advertise themselves. And obviously, basketball is not the most important thing in the world. Sports isn't the most important thing in the world. But a lot of great things happen at universities. A lot of people come to be who they are, learn a lot of useful things, then go on to change the world in their own way. And that journey is going to start for some kid because they saw that Furman beat Virginia and they're now attending the University of Furman, and that then changes their life forever. I'm not saying they're going to go on to take us back to the moon or they're going to cure cancer, but just literally speaking, their life is now changed because they chose to go to Furman because they heard of them because they beat Virginia. There's going to be somebody who's doing that. You don't see that anywhere. You don't get to see the small guys, the underdogs, the smaller schools, the less athletic, the slower, these guys that had never gotten recognition in their entire lives, really, national attention their entire lives, in a second. One steal, one shot, everyone's talking about Furman. Everybody's group chat. Your group chat lit up. OMG, all caps. Choke Virginia is, I think, what I typed. Everyone's clowning Virginia. Everybody's hyping up Furman. No one's ever heard of Furman before. And that's the beauty of this sport. It is a little the Cinderella, the underdog, might be slightly overplayed, because by the time the championship game rolls around last year, UNC and Kansas, before the season started, if you guess it'll be UNC and Kansas in the championship game, you'd be like, oh, very creative of you. Two blue bloods of the sport. Kansas won it. Year before that was it Baylor and Texas Tech, I think. And Baylor smacked the crap out of them. Or was that 2 years before that? I don't remember. But these are teams you recognize, teams you know in the championship game. And this year, my pick's Houston. I think Houston has the combination of multiple skill sets on the court. They could really do it all. They were on top of the college basketball landscape pretty much all year long. They have experience. Teams like Kansas are relying a lot on freshmen, on underclassmen, whereas that Houston squad has a little bit of experience. They've went on runs. They made the Elite Eight, I believe, last year. They may have made even the Final Four before that, or again, maybe just the Elite Eight, but they've gone on some March Madness runs. They have experience. They have experienced players. They have experienced coaching staff. They are my pick to win it all, but they could lose in the second round and then their story's done. You don't see that. You don't see that really anywhere else in the sports world. You don't see the Cincinnati Reds win the World Series. I'll let you know right now. You want a little betting tip? Don't bet on the Reds to win the World Series this year. All right? Just not going to happen. Don't bet on the Red Wings to win the NHL Cup. It's not going to happen. Don't bet on the Texans to win the Super Bowl. Don't bet on these things. But every single year, people place sometimes serious money on schools they never heard of, schools they could never point on a map, because they have a 11 next to their name, they have a 13 next to their name, and every single year, one of those teams wins. Every single year, I think 8 out of the last 10 years, maybe I'm making this up, maybe I'm confusing two different stats, but I believe 8 of the last 10 years, a double-digit seed has made the Sweet 16. There's only been 2 champions ever that have been worse than a number 3 seed. So they're not betting on to be champions. But serious money is bet on schools. Oral Roberts. Where's Oral Roberts? If you're watching right now, tell me right now, where's Oral Roberts? If you don't know, tell me you don't know, because I don't know. But people are betting serious money on Oral Roberts to beat Duke. Is it going to happen? Maybe. Maybe not. But one domino has fallen. One giant has fallen. I imagine a few more to come. That's why we love this sport. That's why we love college basketball. Kids that have never seen large amounts of money. Kids that don't have hopes of making the NBA. Kids that no one's heard their names before outside their families, who have traveled miles across states to come support them. Never expected their school to be in this moment. Never expected to be on a grand stage like this. They get their moment, their one shining moment. I'm here. I'm recording this FAU studio. FAU's had the best season in school history. I've been so fortunate to cover them this year. I've made memories even before the tournament. So watching them, supporting them, commentate. I've been on ESPN. I got to go on ESPN and commentate basketball games. Are you kidding me? This is completely aside from the subject of the video, but I was on ESPN. I've had great memories covering this sport. And now so many other kids are getting that same opportunity because they go to a school that only has an enrollment of 5,000 kids, that more kids are interested in joining the Alabama football team than go to some of these schools. And they're upsetting. They're moving on. They're bringing money to the university. They're making memories. They're making their parents proud. These are moments you don't get to see in most other sports. And it means a lot to me to see. Obviously, I didn't get to experience that firsthand in terms of playing college basketball, but seeing what it means to these teams, kids winning one basketball game. They didn't win the championship. They don't have any jewelry yet. They don't have any. There's no banner in the rafters. They won one game. They're crying. Their parents are crying. They're celebrating in the locker room off winning one game, one moment that they'll never be able to take away from them for the rest of their lives. I love it.